was definitely went through a dark night of the soul. I think it was darker. No, not they. For me, it was darker, especially with everything going on in the world. But, you know, it's spring. It's spring, y'all. It's time to renew. Yeah, and speaking of that, so we have a partial eclipse tomorrow here in Virginia. You'll be able to see it shortly after sunrise. And with an eclipse, you know, it's time to transform, and you know, it's gonna be beautiful, powerful. I suggest meditating, journaling. I like to do, you know, little rituals like writing things that like writing things that no longer serve me anymore, burning it, burying it, whatever, you know, that you need to do to get it out, like get rid of it, goodbye, you know. Yeah, and then create your vision, create your future self. A vision for your future self. So one thing I like to do, and I usually do this like when I do my vision board in the new year, but you can do it anytime, absolutely anytime. And it's like writing a letter from your future self to your current self. So what you're gonna do is, you know, meditate, get still, go in nature, or whatever you need to do to be able to concentrate and think about what you want. You know, really dream too. Like, what would your ideal day be a year from now? If you were living your most fulfilled, heartfelt life, what you wanted to do, you know, how you wanted to serve this world and serve yourself, serve others, you know, what would make you happy, like the happiest you've ever been? You know, think about that. Here's another little tip that I heard recently. Forget where I heard it, but if you think back to when you were a child, think about how you played as a child. Think about what you loved to do. Was it sports? Was it playing with dolls? Like playing house, you know, caretaking? For me, I did like sports, but I loved acting and being dramatic and singing, you know. I was always putting on a show. I was always writing, and wild imagination. Probably the Gemini moon, okay, or my Aquarius sun, or both. Anyway, so if we think back to what we did as a child, how we played as a child, that's kind of the essence of who we are, you know. And as children, you know, for the most part, you know, we're still innocent, and we're still who we are at our core, at our essence. You know, we don't have to, I don't know, we haven't been conditioned yet, for the most part. The older we get, the more conditioned we become. You know, and people say, oh, you can't sing. Oh, you can't do this. Like, I'll tell you an example. Like, I loved singing, okay? I was in the choir or the chorus at school, and I went out for a solo. I was in 5th grade. I was like, finally pumped myself up. And it was big. That was big for me. Like, I had gotten teased and picked on when I was a kid for my freckles, you know. you know, and so I was picked on, and so my self-esteem was kind of low, but I also had this fire in me, Aries rising, anyway, but I also had this fire. I didn't want to be kept down, but I talked myself into it. Let's go out for the solo, and I'd practiced and practiced, and finally I did. I tried. You know, I had my American Idol moment, just on a much smaller scale. And what happened was I choked. I choked up. You know, I was nervous. There was the mean girls who picked on me right there, glaring at me and laughing. And then the teacher, and then he started laughing. And he was like, no, you're not a singer. My chorus teacher told me I was not a singer. That defined me. That defined me as a, you know, okay. He said he's a teacher. You know, he must know these things. And he said, I'm not a singer, so I'm not a singer. And I gave that part of me up. You know, I let that become me. Yeah, I'm not a singer. Oh, I can't carry a note. Oh, I'm tone deaf. You know, whatever I had to tell myself. And that's one thing I'm working on now, though, is to start singing. So stay tuned.
How are you doing?